Most professional stream ever.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Dead
absolutely.
air. Dead air.
Do you know how to pronounce any of their names on the axis?
I think Jäger, which is German for hunter. That's about it. The rest of them are just kind of a mishmash of random characters.
And we got NV Quad C, you know?
See? Quad C, I
No,
like that.
it's CC. We got ZXCVCV, I don't know, CVB, we call them that? I don't know.
Something like that. Let's see what map we're playing. Oh, vanilla map,
We
okay.
got Ario, John Wumbo, and Grinch. So we've got, this is an interesting setup. We've got 3 Ostfront Germans versus 2 Soviets and a Brit.
Interesting.
That is an interesting choice. I don't know about you, but with my experience with the Ostfront, I feel like they're going to be at a major disadvantage early game with infantry.
You're going to have to push it real quick if they don't win it early on. It's going to be very difficult for them to recover with those Soviet numbers of infantry. Cheap buys.
Now, are you spectating the Ostfront or the Allies?
You could turn off Fog of War to see both.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Ostfront right now.
Yeah, sorry, it's been a minute since I spectated. I didn't want to crash immediately by clicking anything.
Alright, disabling Fog of War.
Yep, worked for me.
Looks like we got Grinch mid.
The key to the game for the Ostfront boys is going to be to not lose all their infantry immediately. That's going to be kind of the deciding factor in the first 5-10 minutes.
Looks like they're moving in quick. Ooh, clearly an advantage on the right side for Ostfront with those ready-made trenches. And Hill. Got Grinch in the mid. There's NV Quad C. ZXCVB on the left. There's Michael.
Looks like in the early game so far, the Allies are being as aggressive as ever and attempting to take mid.
Might get all 4 mid points. We have a little bleed on them.
There was a contest on the mid left for the Ostfront, but that poor Jaeger has gone down on the flag point.
Looks like we might have some direct control MG fire on the left. Not really contesting the hard flanks as much as one would think.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how little action is going on the flanks, although it does appear that it looks like, are we calling him John Wumbo for the tournament? John Wumbo.
Why not?
And Jaeger are starting to slowly advance on the far right. And then on the far left, we basically spoke too soon. ZXC has a man on the far left.
Moving in, putting up some fortifications. A little bit of a stalemate in the mid. I would say there's definitely a clear advantage on this map mid for the team coming from the south.
I'm seeing a lot of caution on the Mr. Grinch front. He's just got a lot of guys sitting on the hill, not really buying any cheap infantry. He's being cautious at his approach versus ZXC.
Ooh, looks like there is a push on mid.
Is that from the Russian player of is Mr. Grinch in the mid and far left?
Mr. Grinch is everywhere, buddy.
Well, of course he is.
He's watching over you right now.
Classic Mr. Grinch. I'm surprised that only one of the center, points of contestant has been taken, and it is by the Russian team, ZXC, on the far left. I guess on the west. I don't know. We're doing directions.
Yeah, it's all relative, right? Got ourselves a bit of a Mexican standoff here.
Yeah, on all remaining 4 points. Although we have the direct center point finally being contested by Quad C.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
and the left, mid left is starting to get a little contested too. You saw it flash green.
Really got to push them back. If they don't get them out here early, it's going to be tough to dig them out. Looks like
And our friend,
mid is crashed.
looks like John Wumbo Wobbles is he's finally got a guy on the far right point in the smoke. Might be a little hard to get that guy. This point might be going to the Allies.
Ooh. You may have it. They're pushing, they're pushing. Here's Wobble has done a charge. A lot of cheap infantry, mass assaulting.
That might be the play against these Ostfront guys. There's only about, I'd say, 2 full strength, maybe 2.5 squads on the right. Just in sheer numbers, he could overwhelm them as long as he's not too.
Ooh. And the classic Ostfront play. Some cheap half tracks have been deployed.
We have Sicario doing a similar tactic on the left, although he's not being super aggressive. He's got 2 minor squads pushing, and he's got other guys setting up sandbags on the far left. Looks like we're trying to go for a double envelopment by the Allies.
He's dug in. He's dug in.
Okay.
Slowly but surely getting a front up in the middle.
Still anybody's game. The score is 14-7. There are still 2 flags that are being contested. 2 flags under control of the Ostfront and 1 flag under control of the Allies. In the middle.
Got a bit of a blitzkrieg on the right. Appears they're bringing up a bunch of Panzer Is. AT rifle is going to be key at this point.
Mr. Grinch and Wobbles, John Wumbo, are both doing a double T-70 push to the right of the Ostfront. Probably impact in about 30 seconds, but I have a feeling it might overwhelm them. Counter that
Rifles
blitzkrieg.
to the front. Just got down some trenches.
Here come the T-70s approaching the line of engagement.
Tied out game for 4 points.
There's only 1 point left that is being fully contested, and that is the mid-left for the Ostfront. Both sides are aggressively slow pushing it with sandbags and infantry. Heard something explode. Where was that?
Half track on the mid. Stughounds are out now. A good counter to that Ostfront armor.
Now these Ostfront players are definitely seasoned in what they do. A lot of Ostfront players would have lost all their infantry by this point. So gotta have to hand it to them, their skill.
Approaching with some form of caution.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get
I would say they definitely
mid
have the superior forces, but just the numerical advantage is clearly on the Allied side, even looking at the minimap. Alright, on the far right, on the eastern point, we finally have some aggression, dual aggression with Mr. Grinch and John Wumbo. The T-70s are pushing forward, hoping to kill that Panzer I of Jaeger, and as well as the armored vehicles in the back. Those vehicles fall, it could be the end of the right flank for the Ostfront. CVB on the left is pushing up a whole bunch more Jaegers. They do look like they're in a conga line. They could be gunned down if he doesn't split them up shortly. Oh, we got some last-minute splits. Might have just saved his gas.
Making a push. So they've recommandeered one of their tanks.
The middle right point of the Ostfront is now being taken by Mr. Grinch with a single rifleman. Meanwhile, the far left is being retaken by CBB.
Real back and forth.
I'd say these teams are quite evenly matched, although the scoreboard is starting to show a little bit of a lead for the Ostfront. Score is 27-7. The Ostfront still has the advantage. The Allies really need to make some sort of progress on the middle or the left to turn the scales of this game around. I don't know about you, Tate, but I was expecting this match to be a little bit more excited towards the Allies in the early game. Now I'm unsure.
Yeah, they're making a decent push, but they're pretty fortified in with those cheap tanks that the Ostfront does get.
Do you think the advantage is going to swing more towards the Allies in the mid to late game, or do you think the Ostfront might be able to just maintain this advantage that they have throughout the entire game?
Based upon the slow bleed right now, there might be a good chance there'll be some late game pushes from the Allies.
I wish we could switch sides so I could see what the MP counts are at.
Yeah, I mean, Ostfront's running pretty dry right now. Sub 100 MP.
Hello, it is officer time. There, I don't see too many in the Ostfront. I see 1, 2, 3. This about 6.
A couple. Likewise on the Allies.
Only about 2 per person. When I don't know about you, but usually when I get to the officer stage, I just kind of get them all, spread them out. Sikaru is bringing out an interesting unit that I don't see used too much on the battlefield these days. He's got a kangaroo coming out.
Nice.
I recently found out that you can stack 14 guys on that that are not part of the crew.
Bit of a fortress.
Yeah, if only they would shoot automatically. That's something we should ask to be fixed in the next patch if possible. Do you want? Am I moving the screen around too much for you?
Explosion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
We got some contention in the middle.
It looks like Mr. Grinch is slow pushing some more sandbags up. Really impressed on the left guys in rather than crawl.
Close score.
You know, if I were the Allies in the middle, I would get some kind of like a Sherman up and just white phosphorus that schoolhouse. I mean, that's where a lot of the defenses are.
It's very American of you.
You know.
No school shootings in this chat. That's all right.
Yeah. I am just, impressed by the fact that it is absolutely deadlocked right now because the left flag is just purely neutral. We have some true equal footing right now.
Guru might be the catalyst pushing them back.
The 50 cal can kill a Panzer I, right?
I believe from a side shot.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not turning the Kangaroo to try to kill the Panzer I. It's wreaking havoc on the left.
The British 50 cal don't have the armor piercing ammo like the American does. Don't.
I didn't know that. Thank you for your technical expertise.
Bit of a stalemate on the right.
There's not much more land for John Wumbo to take on the right. Honestly, if I were him, I would dig in, build some trenches, and probably help push mid. Do you think we'll be seeing any mortars from Mr. Grinch this game?
Pretty arty light game thus far. Do imagine some Katyushas towards the end, but appears to be just a lot of small tanks and infantry play. Pretty evenly matched score.
Yeah, I was looking at this the score right now as well. You got value-wise, just about pretty much dead same, around 420s, 430s.
It's 420, man.
When it comes to yeah, right. When it comes to infantry losses, though, there's a clear advantage towards the Axis, with the Ostfront being nearly 100 infantry kills ahead. With vehicles, they are actually behind. They've lost 4 more vehicles than they've killed. It's not where you want to be with the Germans.
Ooh, Stu 42's been pulled up, clearing out some infantry on the mid. Looks like there's some contention on the left flank. Good use of smokes. Have a little dance going on the right.
Yeah, I see that. The mid-right might be falling back to the Ostfront shortly. But we do also have another rescue squad coming in from John Wumbo to that mid-right point. Maybe they'll be able to get to the sandbags and hold the line.
Heck of a shot on the right.
On the left flank, it also seems to be falling to Sicario, the infantry. We almost have a total flip of the flags. All flags are now being taken by the Allies.
Oh, wow.
Wow, do you see that? Mr. Grinch BA-64 in a minute? He might be trying to put that sideways to use as cover for his infantry.
Not a bad play.
That is not a bad play. Yeah, he's trying to rush up a rifleman behind that
He's doing it.
BA-64.
Oh, wow.
He is contesting it.
He's capping.
Yep.
Got multiple.
That was definitely the move. Right there. We got every flag being contested at this point.
That was a heck of a pushback.
Yes, this was quite the turnaround right around the 18 to 19 minute mark. All the flags just switched.
Still think this is going to be a pretty darn long game.
It could be. The Allies are still behind. But with this massive flag change, the score
heck of a
could
bleed.
rapidly change.
Just a complete collapse. Still going to be difficult in the middle, though. Due to the advantageous nature of that school.
Oh, we see our first rocket artillery.
Yep.
Germans do have amazing rocket artillery. The thing that I'm a little confused about is I'm spectating CVB, and he still has about 300 CP, or MP, sorry. Now he's buying infantry.
Showing relatively low at 160, but moving up quickly. A little confusing why they haven't spawned their last officer just for that payback.
Right, I mean, it's just a kind of a need at this point, especially as the Ostfront, with the MP economic problems they're having right now.
It'll be difficult for the Ostfront to come back later in this game, but we shall see.
Well, they are still ahead. They've got about 12 more points that they can sacrifice before the game is tied. You could just use that time to hunker down and try to recoup some force preservation, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oof. Allies have really locked things down. We're not seeing many trenches.
Yeah, not too many permanent
side.
defenses, but they've got plenty of temporary defenses. Those easily get destroyed. Mr. Grinch is
That
of course putting up snipers where he
BA-64
can.
still is uncontested. Crazy in the middle.
Oh, yeah, that BA-64 move was absolutely brilliant on Mr. Grinch. If you don't find the cover, you must create the cover.
A bit of a push on the left with the Panzer I.
Tell Mr. Grinch definitely wants that grand prize.
Kind of the same stratagem going on 22 minutes into the game. Be interesting to see what type of late war vehicles the Ostfront brings out as the game progresses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what else the Ostfront can do. You see that they've put all their officers in a single trench on the way back, keeping them covered.
Got some vet Hetzers out in the field. Maybe looks like they're trying to clear them up a little bit. Grinch pulling back his T-3485. One of the things with those vet Hetzers a lot of people don't realize is it is a 210 range.
Yeah, that is an excellent range. But the 85 also has 210. It's just that I think the big advantage is the Hetzer is such a small target that I don't know about you, but I always miss those things my first shot.
Yeah. A little bit of contention again in the middle. Churchill's out in force.
And NY Quad C is going to try to take out the Churchill with a Panzerfaust, it looks like. Or he's just trying to take the middle point. He's got a Panzerfaust guy on the flag. Oh, we finally have two flags being contested by the Ostfront. It left. Oh, that guy just died. In the middle. Mr. Grinch is trying to shoot a Jaeger on the point with armor-piercing ammunition. It's not like that guy.
Almost capped here on the right, but appears they took out the sole survivor there.
Reached kind of a slower paced point, but we see a little bit of action rising in the middle. Mr. Grinch is trying to eagerly retake that point that they just lost. And the sniper just knocked the guy off the point. There's no infantry on that center point that has been captured by the Ostfront. Looks like we got a huge rocket attack on the mid-left again. It's a good thing Sicario has some more permanent entrenchments, Mr. Grinch, on that hill, but all that infantry is going to have to be replaced.
Appears there's another B-64 play.
Mr. Grinch and his B-64s. Oh!
Ooh.
Not going to quite make it there.
So
It got
close
stopped.
and so far away.
I know, that engine is toast. We have
slowly
a
starting to
church
get rid of
pushed in the mid, into the ditch.
Ooh, rocket strike in the middle.
Back in the middle.
Ooh, is he gonna get
That might be
lucky? Get that
devastating.
Churchill.
Has immobilized
Not quite.
Churchill in the middle.
They sniped the officer.
Did they? Oh, yep, they got
Yep.
target officer.
Here come the Katyushas.
And that was a
Ooh.
good trade, I would say.
Very good trade. Map's a little smaller than most of the maps.
Do you think that was just a stray bullet? Because there's definitely not enough range for a sniper to do that. 3-2-1.
No, that's a rocket, man.
Oh, you gotta. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. It's kind of blind. It's dangerous keeping officers, you know, any closer to the front than they need to be.
A bit of a push on the mid-right again. So we got from an armor situation here. Axis really don't have that many tanks out in the field currently.
In the middle, their infantry is looking a fraction of what the Allies have. This is looking a little rough for the Ostfront. I'm not sure triple Ostfront was the safest decision to do. It's kind of a big gamble. Got John Wumbo bringing 2 extra squads of infantry to the middle. We might be seeing that Ostfront flag be under some pressure.
Oof, heck of a push on the middle.
Yeah.
We did a charge by. You're starting to white foss that school, as you said earlier.
Yeah. That will neutralize that school, but there's not much infantry in it at the moment.
Ooh, and it appears he's got a man behind his BA-64 that keeps paying dividends.
Yep, that BA-64 has been one of the most effective, flag capture techniques in this game, in my opinion.
So just hidden away.
I'm surprised he doesn't lay that guy down. He's a little exposed up there.
Some people are into that stuff.
Yeah.
There's not much going on the left. Got a disabled tank. Might be quite difficult to repair.
It's currently under fire by another T-34.
Still not seeing all the officers deployed right now. We got a few straggler infantry in the back. The MP situation on the Axis is very, very low. We're looking at sub 100 with all SP except for 1 point used at this point.
I'm not sure how the other players are doing so far, but yeah, ZXC, it's not great. Hey, 321, am I allowed to switch between players on the Axis, or is that going to
No.
No.
Might break it, yeah.
I don't want to risk it.
Another rocket strike in the middle.
Ooh, dang near takes out
Cleared
that
some
Churchill.
defenses.
That's kind of, let's see if he can follow it up with a small, slow push, because, you know, the Allies are just going to be able to replace that infantry lost. It looks like they see where the Mr. Grinch Katusha is. I see the Ostfront pointing it at 2 players, intent on killing it.
We gotta keep scrambling those around. Pretty small map, actually.
Ooh. John Wumbo just destroying all of the Ostfront cover in the middle. He just knocked out all their wall cover. He's not even trying to get kills there. Ooh, that's a painful kill of his own infantry in the middle.
Oof.
I'm not seeing much infantry for the Ostfront in the middle at all. There's
probably collapse.
About a dozen men in the middle.
Probably forced to move with them having to do pressure by here.
Oh man, when you see those last 2 middle flags getting threatened, you know, the ones that you're supposed to maintain control of all game, it's not looking good for the Ostfront at this point. We almost have a forced collapse. The kill counts. The Axis is still ahead by over 100 infantry. It's almost 150 infantry kills, but when it comes to vehicle kills, they're still lagging behind, and that might be one of the bigger issues here.
They've targeted that Katusha in the back. It's being repaired currently. Ooh, yep.
See another dead officer. Ario lost another officer due to artillery in the back. Actually, Katusha.
Tigers came out in the mid to clean house.
Those Tigers are real glass cannons. They can be penetrated by 76s in this mod. It's just not. It's a dangerous move saving up for that Tiger. Might pay off to killing those Churchills, though.
Got a bit of a pushback on the right.
They have maintained control of that far right flag. Can they regain control of that mid right flag? That might just get them closer to being able to stop this point. Of course, as I say that, John Wumbo is pushing at least 3 squads of infantry in the mid-right. There's just a never-ending wave of the Allies.
Oof. There's be a lot of micromanagement in the mid with that Tiger.
Targeting that Churchill still?
He is. I believe he's shooting through a building, but he's starting to move forward, trying to get a clear shot.
As you and I very well know, you do have to watch out about getting your attention drawn in on those Churchills.
Oh yeah.
And forget about the rest of the game sometimes.
Clearly focus on that Tiger. Churchill's had a bit of an odd angle.
Oh, he got it. That Churchill is dead.
Oof.
How expensive are the 700 points?
Or like 800, 900?
800?
The most effective I've already. Appears they're making a push on the mid.
Mr. Grinch has a BA-64. Way up on the right. Too close to the Hetzer to be killed. Although it has just been decrewed, if I was the Ostfront, I would put one man in there.
Appears to be all quiet on the western front. Lion's share of the battle does appear to be going on mid, as well as on the right.
Western front has entirely just frozen is what it looks like. Nobody's making any pushes. Of course,
All in the mid.
Sicario doesn't need to push. He just needs to hold.
Just needs time.
When it comes to victory points, it looks almost like it's going to be very hard for the Ostfront to come back from this. I mean, it's almost 120 to 40. Although we do have a Panzer I going on to the middle point, and he might be doing the same tactic that Mr. Grinch did, creating his own little cover.
Got a mass push mid. I just don't know. They don't quite have the MP. Really throw the bodies.
He does have men on that point, though. He is going to
Does.
neutralize it if he can keep them alive.
He does. He
I don't
does.
see any micromanagement. He should put that tank crew behind the Panzer.
Oof.
Oh. I guess that was a little too much micro there. We have a half track on the mid right point. You should just put an infantryman behind that as well. We might have a flip of the flag situation finally. We have a man behind the Panzer I in the middle, and we have the mid right flank being taken by the Ostfront again. This could be the turnaround that they needed. Oh, but Sicario's pushing a squad on the mid left. He's threatening the far leftern rear flag.
Looks like we might have a potential push on the left.
Yeah, it looks like we have some potential counter attack, although a single squad or a single two squads here. Right?
Gonna take a little more than that.
Yeah, be a little light on what they need. The good thing for the Ostfront is that they have halted, the advance of the Allied score. Can they turn it around?
Pushing real hard. Let's see what we have on the left.
CVB is attempting to actually take that leftern flag, although he is not crawling in. He's just running his guys into the fields of fire.
He might get it.
He might get it. Trying to use a Panzerfaust to snipe a man behind sandbags. That is
Bold
always
move.
interesting. Yeah, very bold.
Oof.
Ooh.
Relatively lightly
Hate to see
defended
that.
on the west, but are holding strong.
Those problem is with those lightning rushes is that your men are fully exposed, and if they're too close together, they can get taken out by a single high explosive round like Sicario just did right there. Those infantry are much more expensive than the Soviet infantry. Once again, we have a stalemate when it comes to flags, but the Allies do have plenty of time and points to sacrifice to recoup their strategy. The assault on the left is not over. Of course, Sicario's Churchill is still alive, and not threatened by any Tiger tanks. Speaking of which, that Tiger in the middle got blown up. I didn't notice
Yeah, I
that.
didn't see that either. We got a counter push on the right. Once again, doing the BA-64 strat in the middle.
That is a proven strategy this game. We need some anti-tank rifles on the Ostfront side. Seeing a clear lack of them.
Oof. Looks like that push has been entirely countered.
Ooh. A whole half squad of Jaegers been wiped out by a single high explosive round in the middle by a T-34. Left-turn flank has been taken. The Ostfront do have the advantage when it comes to flags and are slowly gaining points, although how long can they maintain that advantage? We have a rocket attack in the mid-left.
Not too many kills, but not too many people there. Oh, never
There
mind.
we go.
We did get a direct hit.
We're getting plenty of kills on the Ostfront side, but is it enough? Is it enough to stabilize their lead in flags?
Relatively close score here.
At the same point, Sicario is reached the far rear western flag again.
Oof.
Threatening it. Putting on the pressure.
Sole survivor on the western front. Ooh, struck with a Panzerfaust.
I think you're controlling that man. No? Might be. I think he was.
And she's down. Really can make a quick and swift push on the left flank.
I think there's all of only 4 people holding the left flank on the Ostfront side. There's just no forces there. They still do have the flag advantage at the moment. Although Mr. Grinch is pushing up a BA-64 completely uncontested right now, mid-right. And that might give John Wumbo the idea to push forward with his infantry, seeing that weakness. That is exactly what he is doing, recontesting the mid-right point. The lefternmost point, sorry, the western front is collapsing.
That is a huge push against 3 guys.
And we have all of the flags being contested again, except for that far right one. But I do see infantry moving to try to change that status. Oh, we have our first quit. That looks like that is going to be game. That is the first match.